Hi, it's me. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of Zac Efron's greatest hits. But first, a little biography. Zac Efron was born in San Luis Obispo, California on October 6, 1988. He is the only child of Starla Basket and David Efron. His mother worked as a nurse, while his father was a civil engineer. Zac spent most of his childhood in the small town of Arroyo Grande, where he attended St. Luis Obispo High School. He began performing in school plays while in middle school, and by high school, he was a part of the drama club. In 2006, he graduated from high school and enrolled at the University of California, Los Angeles, to study political science. However, Zac soon decided to take a break from college in order to pursue acting opportunities in Hollywood. At the age of 9, Zac made his first foray into the entertainment industry, when he played the role of Peter Pan in a production of The Sound of Music. As a teenager, he booked several small roles in television shows, such as Firefly, The Guardian, and In 2004, he made his film debut playing a supporting role in the teen comedy Hairspray. The following year, he landed a larger role in the drama film Miracle Run. Despite these early successes, Zac's breakthrough role did not come until 2006, when he was cast as Troy Bolton in the Disney Channel movie High School Musical. The film was a massive hit, grossing over $100 million at the box office and launching a franchise that would go on to include 2 sequels. Zac's performance as the handsome and charismatic basketball captain earned him widespread acclaim and established him as a heartthrob among teenagers. In the wake of High School Musical's success, Zac went on to star in several other teen-oriented films, including 17 Again, Me and Orson Scott Cards. The eBay along the way, he also made time to give back, using his platform to raise awareness about environmental issues and serving as a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador for the World Wildlife Fund. However, Zac's career took a more serious turn in 2012 when he starred in the drama film The Lucky One, opposite Taylor Schilling. The film was based on the novel of the same name by Nicholas Sparks, and told the story of a Marine who returns home from Iraq and falls in love with a woman he believes is lucky. While The Lucky One received mixed reviews from critics, it was a commercial success, grossing over $100 million worldwide. In the years that followed, Zac continued to balance his time between lighter fare, like the comedy Neighbors, and more dramatic roles in films like The Paperboy and Parkland. He also starred in the HBO miniseries The Normal Heart as Ned Weeks, a fictionalized version of Larry Kramer, one of the key figures in the fight against AIDS in the 1980s. In 2014, Zac reunited with his High School Musical co-star Vanessa Hudgens in the action film Spring Breakers. The film was directed by Harmony Korine and followed a group of college students who rob a diner in order to fund their spring break trip. Although the film was not a critical success, it did receive praise for its soundtrack, which featured several songs by EDM producer and DJ Screw. In 2016, Zac took on another challenging role when he portrayed serial killer Ted Bundy in the crime drama film Extremely Wicked. Shockingly evil and vile, the film was based on the memoir of Bundy's longtime girlfriend, Elizabeth Klopfer, and explored the relationship between Bundy and Klopfer, as well as the psychological manipulation and gaslighting tactics he used to evade authorities. Zac's portrayal of Bundy was widely praised as being both chilling and sympathetic, with many critics arguing that he humanized the notorious killer. Aside from his work in film, Zac has also been involved in several high-profile philanthropic endeavors. In 2014, he partnered with the World Wildlife Fund to launch the Earth Day initiative, which aimed to raise awareness about the threats facing coral reefs around the world. In 2016, he traveled to the Democratic Republic of the Congo to meet with local leaders and learn about their efforts to protect endangered mountain gorillas. And in 2018, he became a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador for the World Wildlife Fund, using his platform to advocate for the protection of endangered species and the preservation of their habitats. In recent years, Zac has continued to work steadily in both film and television. In 2021, He starred in the black comedy film The Greatest Beer Run Ever alongside Russell Crowe, which was based on the true story of a young man who travels to Vietnam in 1969 to deliver beer to his friends in the military. He also starred in the limited series The White Lotus as Quinn Mossbacher, the introverted teenage son of a wealthy family who stays at the titular resort in Hawaii. The show was a critical success, earning 10 Primetime Emmy Award nominations and winning 2, as well as a Golden Globe nomination for Best Limited Series. So here are some of the top hits of Zac Efron. No. 10. Hairspray. Hairspray is a 2007 musical comedy film produced by the powerhouse duo of Mark and Jay Waters. It is based on the 1988 film of the same name, written by John Waters. The movie revolves around Tracy Turnblad, an overweight teenager who dreams of becoming a dancer on the popular TV show, The Corny Collins Show. Despite her mother's disapproval, Tracy defies the odds and lands a spot on the show, where she uses her newfound influence to fight for racial integration and acceptance. Zac Efron's character in the film is Link Larkin, the handsome and charming heartthrob who eventually falls in love with Tracy. His portrayal of Link was widely praised, with many critics noting his comedic timing and chemistry with co-star Nikki Blonsky. Number 9. 17 Again. 17 Again is a 2009 teen comedy film that stars Zac Efron as Mike O'Donnell, a 37-year-old man who is feeling stuck in his life. After getting divorced and watching his best friend move away, Mike becomes depressed and begins to feel like his life has no purpose. One night, Mike meets a mysterious man named Alika, who gives him a pill that will make him 17 again. Mike takes the pill and transforms into his former high school self, allowing him to relive the glory days of his youth. However, as Mike navigates the social hierarchy of his old high school, he quickly realizes that things have changed since his day and that the challenges of adolescence are just as daunting now as they were then. Number 8. The Lucky One. The Lucky One tells the story of Colin Fitzgerald, a Marine who returns home from his third tour of duty in Iraq. Upon his return, he learns that his dog tags were found in a photograph of a dead soldier. The tags belonged to a woman named Beth Clayton, who lives in a small coastal town in North Carolina. Determined to find her, Colin embarks on a cross-country journey that eventually leads him to Beth. Despite the fact that Colin had never met Beth before, he is convinced that their paths are intertwined and that their meeting was no accident. Upon arriving in her hometown, Colin gets a job working for Beth's grandfather and slowly begins to win over the hearts of the townspeople. As Colin and Beth spend more time together, they begin to develop feelings for each other. However, their budding romance is threatened by the arrival of a former flame of Beth's, as well as the reappearance of a soldier who was in the photograph with Colin's dog tags. Despite these obstacles, Colin and Beth's love for each other grows, and they eventually decide to give their relationship a chance. Number 7. The Greatest Beer Run Ever. The Greatest Beer Run Ever is based on the true story of Chick Donahue, a young man from New York City who travels to Vietnam in 1969 to deliver beer to his friends in the military. When Chick arrives in Vietnam, he soon realizes that the war is far from the black and white picture he had been painted by the media. He witnesses firsthand the devastation and suffering that the war has caused and begins to question his own beliefs. Despite the danger, Chick continues on his mission to deliver the beer to his friends, meeting a colorful cast of characters along the way. He forms an unlikely friendship with a South Vietnamese woman named Truc, who helps him navigate the country and introduces him to the beauty of its people and culture. Through his interactions with the locals, Chick begins to see the humanity caught up in the conflict and the senselessness of the war. As he journeys deeper into Vietnam, Chick faces numerous obstacles and close calls, but he is determined to fulfill his promise to his friends. With the help of Truc and a band of local villagers, he manages to pull off an audacious plan to smuggle the beer into the U.S. military base where his friends are stationed. Once there, he is reunited with his friends, and they share a toast to their friendship and the resilience of the human spirit. Number 6. That Awkward Moment. That Awkward Moment is a romantic comedy film that follows three close friends, Jason, Daniel, and Mike. All three are successful in their careers and personal lives until they all get dumped by their girlfriends within a short span of time. Devastated and heartbroken, they swear off relationships and focus on their careers instead. However, as time goes on, they begin to feel the loneliness of single life and start to look for new relationships. Enter Chelsea and Ellie, two beautiful women who enter the lives of Jason, Daniel, and Mike and turn everything upside down. As the men navigate the dating scene, they must confront their feelings of love and commitment and ultimately decide what they truly want in life. Zac Efron plays the role of Mike, the charming and charismatic member of the group who struggles to let go of his past relationship. Number 5. The Paperboy. The Paperboy is a crime drama film set in the fictional town of in the 1960s. The film follows the story of a young newspaper delivery boy named Stephen Russell who becomes embroiled in a murder investigation after he agrees to help a death row inmate named Hilary Van Anken who claims his innocence. Stephen teams up with a veteran reporter named Jack James, and together they try to uncover the truth behind Van Anken's conviction. Along the way, they encounter a cast of colorful characters, including a corrupt sheriff, a mysterious drifter, and a femme fatale who may hold the key to solving the case. The film explores themes of justice, redemption, and the power of the press in exposing the truth. Zac Efron's character, Stephen, is a curious and idealistic young man who is eager to make a difference in his town. However, he soon finds himself in over his head as he uncovers a web of deceit and corruption. Number 4. Baywatch. Baywatch is an action comedy film based on the popular television series of the same name. The film follows the story of a group of elite lifeguards who patrol the beaches of California and rescue swimmers in distress, while also trying to save the Baywatch Tower from being closed down by a developer. Mitch Buchanan, played by Dwayne Johnson, is a dedicated lifeguard who has always put the safety of others before his own. When he learns that his late father was one of the founding members of Baywatch, he becomes determined to honor his legacy by protecting the tower at all costs. Mitch is a respected leader among his fellow lifeguards, including Stephanie Holden, played by Priyanka Chopra, a former Olympic swimmer who is known for her competitive spirit and determination. Together, they work to prevent the tower from closing and continue the Baywatch tradition of saving lives. Number 3. The Normal Heart. The Normal Heart is a powerful and moving miniseries that chronicles the early days of the AIDS epidemic in New York City during the 1980s. The story follows Ned Weeks, played by Zac Efron, a fictionalized version of Larry Kramer, a writer and activist who tirelessly campaigns to raise awareness about the disease and demand government action to find a cure. Set against the backdrop of a rapidly changing New York, the series depicts the fear, prejudice, and stigma surrounding the disease, as well as the heroic efforts of those who fought to find a cure. Ned Weeks is a complex and flawed character who is driven by his own personal demons, as well as his passion for justice. He faces opposition from various quarters, including the medical establishment, the government, and even his own friends and family. But he remains steadfast in his commitment to fighting for a cause he believes in. No. 2. The Lucky One. The Lucky One is a heartwarming and thought-provoking film that explores the power of hope, resilience, and second chances. The story follows Logan Tebow, a Marine who returns home from war and finds his life forever changed by a chance encounter with a wounded soldier. Logan is haunted by the memory of his fallen comrades and struggles to reintegrate into civilian life. He feels disconnected from his family and friends and is unable to find his place in a world that seems to have moved on without him. One day, Logan receives a letter addressed to a woman named Beth Clayton, who he believes to be the soldier he saved in combat. Determined to reunite the letter with its intended recipient, Logan sets out on a journey that takes him across the country and deep into the heart of America. Along the way, he meets a cast of unforgettable characters who teach him the true meaning of courage, compassion, and love. Number 1. Extremely Wicked. Shockingly evil and vile. Extremely Wicked. Shockingly Evil and Vile is a chilling and disturbing film that offers a glimpse into the mind of one of America's most notorious serial killers. The film is based on the true story of Ted Bundy, a charismatic and seemingly ordinary young man who hid a dark and sinister secret. Throughout the film, we see the evolution of Bundy's psyche as he becomes increasingly detached from reality and succumbs to his own inner darkness. Zac Efron's portrayal of Bundy is both unsettling and fascinating, capturing the killer's charm, charisma, and underlying psychopathy. As the body count rises and suspicion falls on Bundy, he becomes the subject of a nationwide manhunt. The film culminates in a dramatic showdown between Bundy and the authorities as they race to capture him before he strikes again. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile is a gripping and suspenseful film that will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very end. Thanks so much for watching. What is your favorite movie of Zac Efron? Please let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.